I find that bass students are confused whether or not to use scales as part of their practice routine, and often they don't really know what the purpose of scales are and why to practice them. I definitely recommend bass players learning scales. They're really useful to help to understand music theory, and they can help with fretboard knowledge. But there are 4 scales that are excellent to utilise when constructing bass lines, riffs and licks. And for this reason I recommend that you practice these 4 scales and really get the shapes under your fingers. The 4 scales I'm talking about are the major and minor pentatonic scales and the major and minor blues scales. Now the good news is that once you learn the 2 pentatonic scales, then to play the blues scales you just need to add 1 note to each scale. In this video lesson I'm going to show you all 4 of these scales, and I've written them down on the PDF. You can get that for free in standard notation and tab by clicking the link in the description, so make sure you grab that PDF. It's really useful for this lesson and for practicing the 4 scales. I'm going to show you all 4 scales starting on the root note A. This is so you can compare them easily, but by the end of the lesson, once you know the shapes of the 4 scales, then you'll be able to play them starting on any root note. The first scale is the major pentatonic scale. Now this scale has 2 positions in which you can play it. They're both useful for different reasons. This first position is the kind of classic position. Okay, and you can use that for kind of playing bass lines like blues bass lines. Those kind of patterns. Okay, so start on A with your second finger, and then you do 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, and you can come back down again. Okay, so try it with me. 3, 4. Now there's another position for this scale called the forward position. Start with your first finger on A, and it's like this. So it's got exactly the same notes as the first position, but it's just more useful here when we're playing kind of licks. That kind of thing, if you're starting on a different note other than the root note. Okay, so this is the forward position. Okay, so the major pentatonic scale in the forward position. So try that with me. 3, 4. Okay, so that's the major pentatonic scale. Now we have a minor pentatonic scale. Start with your first finger on A again, and this is the shape. So it has a very different sound to the major pentatonic scale, and lots of bass lines use this kind of shape here, so it's a really good one to know as well. So this is the first position, so try it with me. 3, 4. And that's the kind of usual position you'll play this scale in. But there is a second position, so it's worth knowing that. That's the kind of backwards position, I call it, because you kind of play here and then you play the second note here. Okay, so this is the scale. So it's quite a stretch on that. If you start with your little finger on A, you just do 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 1. So it uses all 4 strings. Okay, so that's a bit more unusual to play it in that position, but it's a good one to know if you're in a different place on the bass, and you can incorporate that into a bass line. You can kind of use the second note here rather than here. Okay, so they're the 2 shapes for the minor pentatonic scale. If you're enjoying this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking the red subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, and don't forget to click the bell and you'll get notified of all my new lessons as soon as they come out. Now, as I said earlier in the lesson, we can take these pentatonic scales and turn them into the blues scales, okay? So first of all, we'll start with the major pentatonic scale in the second position, the fourth position. So I'll just refresh that again. Okay, and what we do is we add the flattened third, okay? And we have this scale, this is the major blues scale. Okay, so that note there. Okay, so we get this shape. Okay, penta means 5, so we have 5 notes in the pentatonic scale, and we add the A again at the top, that makes 6, okay, but we've got 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The blues scale's got an added note, okay, here, the flattened third. Okay, try it with me, slower. 3, 4. So that's the major blues scale. Now we have the minor blues scale as well. Now sometimes this is just called the blues scale. If someone says the blues scale, they usually mean the minor blues scale, okay, if they don't specify. So if we use, play the minor pentatonic first. Now, to turn the minor pentatonic into the minor blues scale, we have to use the flat 5, not the flat 3, okay? So we have this shape. Okay, so for both blues scales, we have 3 notes together. For the major blues scale, they're here. And for the minor blues scale, they're here. Okay, so we start with our first finger on A and just 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay? Back down again. Okay, so try that slowly with me. 3, 4. Okay, so that's the 4 scales, okay? So the major and minor pentatonics, you've got 2 positions, but they're fundamentally just 4 scales. So what I suggest you do, make sure you've got the PDF, which you can get below by clicking the link in the description, and run these scales. And these are really good ones to kind of run every day as part of your practice schedule. Now, I recommend running the pentatonics and the blues scales, even though the blues scales are just at 1 added note. Sometimes you don't want that blues note in there, so sometimes you kind of want the pentatonic shape. So just make sure that you know the 4 shapes, the 4 main shapes, and then start them on different root notes. Just start them, and you can kind of say you do the major pentatonic on C. Okay, or you can start them on A up here. That's A starting on the 12th fret. You can start them anywhere, okay? So really get these shapes under your fingers. Once you know these shapes, then you need to know how to apply them to create your own bass lines and licks and fills and riffs, okay? So start just messing around with them once you've got them, starting them on different notes. Okay, just trying different kind of patterns out, see what you can come up with. There's some different lessons I've got that kind of help you to apply these scales and help you to practice them. There's a playlist up here on the screen. If you click that, then you'll get some different lessons on the pentatonic and blues scales. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Greg's Bass Shed lesson. If you have, then don't forget to like the video. That really helps me out, and you can share it as well using the link with the share button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. Now, if you felt that you got value out of this lesson, then you can always buy me a coffee, a $5 coffee. The details are at the bottom of the screen here, or if you go into the description, there are some clickable links. You can pay by Stripe, by card, or by PayPal. So these kind of coffees just help support me to kind of keep making these free YouTube lessons and PDFs. You can also check out my website gbshed.com. I've got video courses there, bass books, free PDFs. You can get a booklet with the first 150 YouTube video PDFs, t-shirts, there's a load of things on there. So go and check out gbshed.com and see what you can find there. And also in the description there are tons of useful links to different bass products and resources. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hopefully see you very soon in the next lesson.